This is the reason I got a UAD card, literally just to get this tool, because it made such a huge difference on my mixes. IBP allows you to go to these in-between phases that unlock different tones that you wouldn't normally get.
This bass recording that I did was, I did a DI and then I did a 421 and then a Royer, a Royer 121. You can see that in this case, the DI is a little ahead of everything else, which is to be expected, right? Obviously, DIs are electrical connections. They're going to get there faster than a mic'd signal that has to go through the amp and jump across the air and all that jazz. So we're only talking a tiny little bit of an adjustment here, and sometimes it's not, we're not talking about the polarity switch or the phase switch on your mic preamp, which does a complete 180, right? So what we're talking about here is the Little Labs IBP. I put it on the DI. There's a bunch of switches and there's two main knobs. One is a simple delay adjustment, as you can see, the milliseconds here. And then on the right hand side is a variable phase. So a phase switch, which is just 180 or nothing. This allows you to go all in between there. Hence the name in between phase. So it's a tool that actually allows you to do that. Now, if you're doing it for bass, you've got this switch here, this button here that allows you to center it on the low end or center it on the high end, because low frequencies have very large wavelengths and phase is frequency dependent. In other words, some frequencies will be in phase, some frequencies will be out of phase, and there's just no way around that. So this allows you to center the process. In this case, I'm working on bass, so of course I would do it there. But maybe on guitar or something, or acoustic guitar or something, maybe I would switch it over to high. And then of course you have a phase reversal switch. And actually, in my case, I actually needed to phase reverse it plus some, right? Mm-hmm. So that's where this actually allows you to find that spot. Let me turn it off first and let you hear this bass DI against the 421. And then I'm going to turn it on.
Holy tone.
Yeah, it kind of brought it into focus, right? Mm-hmm. And by the way, there's not necessarily a wrong answer here. Brian May made a whole career, playing guitar and messing around with phase of microphones and stuff. So this is a creative thing. Like let me play this for you. It's like a dial. You can dial in just the right amount, and some of it will be dependent upon where they're on the neck and the key of the song and blah blah blah, all the the notes that are in there. But without it, you have kind of that hollowy box, phase canceled sound, and then
low end.
Bringing it in locks that in, brings that low end back and all that. So that's so your example is great. Kick in, kick out is a prime example for this. Bass DIs to bass mics, another example. Any multi-miking of guitars. Yeah. I mean, anytime you have mics that are at different distances, you sometimes you want that, but then you got to correct for the phase.
Matt, I think you've got an example that we can check out where this, even in sampled bass music, the same issue pops up often, right?
Yeah, so with any kind of dance music, hip hop, anything in that realm, it's super common to layer kicks. Usually, whether it be like an 808 layered with an actual kick drum or multiple kick drums together, one for body, one for click or smack. It's just super common to layer kick drums. So what I have going on here is I have a main kick drum, which sounds like this. So it's pretty low end. There's not a lot of a top end smack to it. Let's say I want to add another kick to this. So I have a MIDI program kick that's just programmed the same as this audio with a simple 909 kick. So with no phase adjustment done, this is what it sounds like. So it's adding some top end to it, but it kind of creates this hole in the bass region of the kick that's this phasey, boxy weirdness. So that's where Little Labs IBP comes in. And one thing that Drew didn't mention that I think is super cool, this phase adjust 90 and 180 switch. If you have this out, this phase adjust knob goes 0 to 90. So you actually have more resolution between each step. If you go to 180, it's 0 to 180, which gives you more range, but a little less resolution on the knob. So using that combined with the phase inverse button here, you can really get different combinations of range and resolution, which is really cool. But I have it set to 180 degrees right now, so it's just sweeping 0 to 180. I'll sweep through, and you'll instantly hear what's going on. by the time I get all the way to 180, it's much more in phase. For example, there's the where we started, much more body.
Ooh, yeah. I hope you guys are hearing this. Like, neither one's technically bad, but it's the fullness and the way they kind of work together feels better as you rotate it all the way through.